Hello, I am Prophet Evangelist Joe Davis Jr. and I am an extreme radical preacher and teacher. I believe in going all the way with God. I believe in the last full measure of devotion to God. I believe sin should be reduced to the lowest term possible until it becomes non-existent in our life. I have dedicated myself to pleasing God to the utmost of great exaggerated length, going the full range with God in order to avoid sin and in order to obtain perfection. I believe it is God's way or hell's way. It has to be God's way or the low way. I believe in getting down to the root of the problem. I believe in extreme change to restore an excellent foundation with God that is built upon the departure from iniquity and sin. I am an extreme radical preacher and revolutionary preacher that is in quest of the uttermost of spiritual knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. I realize now that conservative learning is good for the beginning Christian, but the well-experienced Christian must go deeper in truth so that they can go higher in God. Although conservative learning might be good for the beginning Christian, this may not be the case for those that desire to learn the deeper spiritual things that pertain unto God and truth. As Christians that desire to move up higher in God, the mold of mere conservative learning must be broken, especially for experienced Christians. Especially when it comes to receiving knowledge, wisdom, and understanding about God and truth. Also, spiritual things that can elevate you to a higher height in God and give you a deeper depth in God. Everyone that desires to have a more prosperous spiritual life should seek to know more in-depthly concerning God and truth. Every Christian should seek knowledge and understanding of the infinite treasures of God from any and all sources available to them. I urge you to release your mind from the bondage of spiritual ignorance and allow your thoughts to flow unrestricted to the apprehension of spiritual enlightenment that has to do with truth, righteousness, and God. Now, the teaching we receive is extremely important because the teaching we receive will reflect the type of character that we will exemplify. What we learn will determine what we will do under any given situation, whether we will act in a godly spiritual manner or in an ungodly spiritual manner. God expects everyone to mature to the point of becoming a perfect Christian. However, many Christians don't even believe that Christian perfection is a foreseeable and obtainable possibility. They believe it is an impossibility. Many Christian preachers and teachers teach their church members that God don't expect them to become perfect. And if by chance they did become perfect, that they would be on the brink and threshold of leaving this world, and that their demise would soon be at hand. Wow. Heaven to Murgatroyd. Where did that come from? I am certain that it did not come from God, nor did it come from the Bible. Although Satan the devil have already been defeated in the sense that he has been overcome by Jesus Christ. It is because of what Jesus Christ has done that the cover have been pulled off the devil, and now the devil have been exposed unto us. He can no longer hinder us unchallenged because of God's word. It is as the devil have been blown to bits and pieces, but the residue of his defeat still lingers in the atmosphere. The smoke and debris of Satan's defeat is what we must now overcome and avoid, because it continues to linger in the atmosphere. Remember, the devil has no power, and Satan cannot exist in our lives if we don't keep him alive in our experiences. All we have to do now is to get past his smoke screen. We must now overcome Satan's erroneous influence and suggestions. There are many Christian preachers and teachers that do not believe in the possibility of people becoming perfect in God. They think the devil has so much influence and power that perfection for Christians would be an impossibility. They feel the upclimb is too difficult. Some people think that because they are established preachers and teachers of God's word, that they are qualified beyond measure and determine the fact that we as Christians cannot ever become perfect, and that it is not God's desire for us to become perfect. They are defeated before the fight begins. As Christians, we must seek to become spiritually perfected by any means necessary, by anyone that is spiritually qualified to teach us, by any means that is spiritually qualified to teach us. The battle is not ours, but God's. A truly humble person will seek spiritual teaching on perfection because they know that with God all things are possible. They know that God don't have to do nothing. If God told us to be perfect, that means it can be done. This is what God approves of us doing. Because a perfect Christian is simply a Christian and his only requirement is that we become like Jesus. Become obedient to God's word and to allow and to always do the thing that pleases God, as Jesus said he did, and to refrain from sin. Many of us feel the upclimb to perfection would be too difficult a challenge that we dare not attempt to become perfect Christians. Anyone that has committed themselves to God have committed themselves to their own best interests. God desires for us to have a closer and truer relationship with him for our own benefit. The more we know about the spiritual things in relation to God, the closer to God we can get.